Money occupies a unique position in the human mind. Unlike other concerns that come and go, financial thoughts have a way of embedding themselves deeply into daily consciousness. For some people, this goes beyond occasional worry. Money becomes a constant presence, shaping how they wake up, how they make decisions, and how they fall asleep at night. Understanding why this happens requires looking at the intersection of survival instincts, learned behavior, and emotional need. The brain is wired to prioritize threats. In evolutionary terms, this made sense. Resources meant survival, and those who monitored their access to food, shelter, and safety were more likely to endure. Modern life has replaced many of those survival concerns with financial ones. Money now represents security in a way that the brain interprets similarly to how it once viewed physical resources. When someone constantly thinks about money, their nervous system is often responding as though their survival is at stake, even when their actual circumstances are stable. Many people don't realize how early these patterns begin. Children who grow up in households where money was a source of tension often internalize that stress. They may not remember specific conversations, but the emotional atmosphere stays with them. A child who witnessed arguments about bills, who noticed a parent's face change when expenses came up, or who sensed that asking for things caused discomfort, learned something fundamental. Money becomes associated with conflict, scarcity, and emotional instability. That association can persist for decades. Scarcity mindset develops when someone has experienced not having enough, or when they have been made to feel that loss is always imminent. This mindset doesn't require actual poverty. It can form in middle-class homes where parents constantly expressed fear about finances, or in environments where status and spending were tied to love and approval. The brain learns to treat financial uncertainty as a constant threat, and it begins scanning for danger even when there is none. This is why some people with significant savings still feel anxious about money. Their logical mind knows they are secure, but their emotional brain never received that update. Anxiety plays a central role in persistent money thoughts. Financial worry activates the same stress pathways as other fears. The difference is that money concerns rarely have a clear resolution. Unlike a specific problem that can be solved, financial security exists on a spectrum. There is always more that could be saved, more that could be lost, more that could go wrong. This ambiguity keeps the mind engaged in a cycle of anticipation and fear. For some, this manifests as compulsive checking of bank accounts. For others, it appears as difficulty spending on basic needs or as an inability to enjoy purchases without guilt. Control is another major factor. When life feels unpredictable, money can become a source of perceived stability. Some individuals focus intensely on finances because it gives them something tangible to manage. Every budget adjustment, every saved dollar, every financial decision feels like a small victory against chaos. This is especially common in people who have experienced instability in other areas of their lives. Relationships may disappoint, careers may shift, but numbers on a screen can feel reliable. The problem is that this sense of control is often illusory, and the pursuit of it can become consuming. Comparison amplifies these patterns. Modern society constantly presents images of what financial success should look like. Even without actively seeking it, most people are exposed to messages about wealth, status, and lifestyle. The brain naturally compares, and these comparisons often leave people feeling inadequate. Someone who never worried about money may begin to after repeated exposure to others who appear to have more. This comparison doesn't require envy or materialism. It can happen simply through observation, and it quietly shifts how someone evaluates their own situation. Relationships are often affected when money dominates someone's mental space. Partners may feel that financial discussions overshadow emotional connection. Friends may sense hesitation around shared activities. Family members may notice a guardedness that wasn't there before. The person experiencing this may not even be aware of how much their focus on money has altered their behavior. They may believe they are simply being responsible, not recognizing that their vigilance has become a barrier to intimacy and spontaneity. Decision-making also changes. When money is the primary lens through which choices are evaluated, other values can fade. Opportunities are declined, not because they aren't wanted, but because they cost something. Experiences are avoided, not because they wouldn't bring joy, but because the expense feels unjustifiable. Over time, this creates a life that is financially cautious, but emotionally constrained. The person may accumulate security while quietly losing access to the things that make security meaningful. There is an important distinction between financial awareness and financial obsession. Awareness involves understanding one's financial situation, making informed decisions, and planning for the future. It is practical and grounded. Obsession involves a mental preoccupation that exceeds what is useful. It is characterized by intrusive thoughts, emotional distress, and a sense that one's worth is tied to financial standing. The line between the two is not always clear, and many people believe they are simply being prudent when they have actually crossed into a pattern that diminishes their quality of life. Subtle signs often reveal when someone is mentally trapped by money concerns. They may struggle to be present in conversations because their mind keeps returning to financial calculations. They may feel physical tension when spending, even on necessities. They may find it difficult to accept gifts or generosity from others. They may judge themselves harshly for past financial decisions, replaying them repeatedly. They may also project their anxiety onto others, becoming critical of how friends or family members manage money. This pattern is common in modern society for several reasons. Economic instability has become a defining feature of recent decades. Job security has declined. Costs for housing, healthcare, and education have risen. Social safety nets have weakened in many places. At the same time, cultural messaging continues to emphasize personal responsibility for financial outcomes. This combination creates an environment where financial anxiety is not only understandable, but almost expected. Many people carry this weight without recognizing it as a psychological burden rather than a simple, practical concern. Understanding these patterns does not require judgment. The mind that fixates on money is often a mind that learned somewhere along the way that safety was not guaranteed. It is a mind that adapted to uncertainty by staying vigilant. That adaptation made sense at some point, even if it no longer serves the same purpose. Recognizing this can bring a different kind of clarity, one that sees the behavior not as a flaw, but as a response to something real. And sometimes, simply understanding why the mind works this way is the first step toward experiencing it differently.